When everyone, sorry, just a bit tired, so not really that talkative, but looking for some continuation. We just had a feeling of this value gap over here, which was on the daily time frame. Now that we feel it, we could expect price to drop, but I won't be too ambitious because we are overall bullish, and this could just be a temporal retracement to then obviously go to the upside. But we are in a premium. We just for this fair value gap, we are touching this order block, or almost an order block at the top of this fair value gap. We've then also been at this optimal trading entry for a premium. We could be selling this even if it's to just like down here, or I don't really see any. There's not really a clean and balanced level. Maybe the 4-hourly will show. Yeah, I don't like this. Maybe we trade down to some sell side institutional order flow, and you can see here that we've broken some swing lows here. We've kind of moved down, so I expect a continuation. I want to see price to pull back. The event is this, and we're just kind of selling the continuation. We do have yen news at 9:30 a.m. So that, which will happen in 35 minutes, could see price push up into this fair value gap, of which will then sell to the downside. Or could sell to the downside. Get rid of these. So we have this 1 hour fair value gap. Last time we touched it, dropped, we're back up again, but we've swept all of it, pushed up about halfway into this order block based on the body of the candlesticks, which is, if I was to go off that, pushed about, okay, maybe not even halfway even. We've pushed up into the order block a bit. And this being the value up over here, we traded below these lows here. It would be normal for price to come back up. It came back up into this area here. This is the optimal trading entry. And there's a lot of lines, but I can barely just make out what I'm trying to see. I'm not really seeing anything like, I'm not seeing any displacement like around this area. Maybe argue this is an order block right here. Price rejected off of it. I don't know if I would have been brave enough to enter that personally, but that's a potential opportunity. Let's have a look at the XY. We've been bullish since this wick into the fair value gap. Rightly so, we've been profitable off of that. This small moves, a lot of profit as well. Give me a second, I'm gonna use the bathroom, I'll be back. everybody. I'm back. It's kind of already made its move at 8:30. So just above here, marketing, hold lows, essentially even this green line over here. Yesterday, we actually lost like 40%, and then we made it back our losses, and then we ended up on profit for about 20%. So we made 60% yesterday. If we would have made 60% yesterday, and we missed some trades, so we could have even made truly like 120% yesterday. We made 300% on Monday, I believe. Not Monday, because I started the week quite well. Last week we made about 300%. I'm targeting 3,000% every week, but I am being cautious. So I guess in a way I'm not. Anyway, we already made this move over here. The event we had is over here, which is the I think it's the daily fair value gap over here at the mid equilibrium point. And obviously we had that lower high here, taking this swing low here, that pullback, and then that sell off is expected. Our target is down here, and it still is. So because we've had this event, which was last week Friday, and today being Wednesday now, although this happened in the past, is today Wednesday? I actually don't know what day it is. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Okay, cool. Because this happened on last week Friday, which is quite a while ago, this is still valid for this kind of sell off here. We then also had this new low, and then we created this new range, and we had to pull back into this range. This is where we entered sales from this week around Tuesday, and I believe, yeah, Tuesday is where we entered some sales from here. So we had this original move, sell off. All right, if we had held overnight, we could have obviously held to around about here, but I don't think we just got a small win here. Then on Tuesday, we had this creating of a lower low, took out this swing low, lower low created, and we had this pullback, which was great for us. We entered some sales, made money up until around about here. And even now, we have yet to create this lower low. So I expect price to do that. So we can kind of like get in. We missed the opportunity at 3 o'clock here, which is 8 o'clock. Enter that, but that's fine. We can potentially wait for price to pull back again. We have this extreme up here and this extreme down here. This push to the downside. We want price to pull back into maybe like this fair value gap over here, which we didn't exactly touch, which is within the order block. And then once that reaches there, we can then enter the sell, targeting this level over here. Of course, it's more likely price creates a lower low from now. So it is approaching 9:30, which is in about 1 minute. And that will be JPY news. Let me check if JPY spreads up. Not really. But I'm expecting manipulation on JPY pairs. So let's quickly analyze the ones we haven't. We've seen the GBP, JPY. We actually are bearish because I'm explaining why. So first of all, we took out all these lows over here. All right, with this displacing move. So we had a market shot to shift. We've then been slowly retracing, accumulating these orders. We have up here a bearish order block. We've come to the midpoint. And if we go down to the 1 hour, we, after reaching the midpoint, took out this swing low over here, which means that this is another market shot to shift again. And if you zoom in to this move, you can see that we've taken out a lot of sell side, pushing up to some more buy side to get entries is valid. But all this happened in like one move, so it's a bit difficult to get an entry, but you could maybe enter here with the expectation that price could even get up to here, right? And then essentially you could enter low hanging fruit and your stop loss all over there. This is the trade that you could take. I'm not the biggest fan I'll be honest. This is definitely a trade you just have to manage. But it is what I would say my analysis is. I'm super excited for this week because this is NFP, obviously the first week of the month. I am, generally speaking, not aware, or rather not aware. I'm not really a NFP type of person. I've been very bullish on the dollar recently, and I've used kind of manipulation, or the news as a manipulation. I've changed my tactic a little bit, so I'm a lot more confident. That's not English. I'm more confident when entering and trading news because I don't enter during the release of it. I enter either before or after. Excuse me. Right, so Euro USD is the one we're waiting for the pullback on. Kind of missed that opportunity at 8 o'clock. It's fine. GBP NZD. So on the daily time frame, I'll be bullish. We just created this low over here. We are pulling back into this kind of range. If we were to, you can now take this out because this has been filled. That zone no longer really means that much to us. And we were looking for this 1 hour fair value up for price to kind of had the market shift. It didn't really kind of traded below here. And to be fair, it did kind of have the shift over here. But this was around market close. So we wouldn't have entered this. Because 5 p.m. is the same as 10 p.m. in our time, which is where market spreads are ridiculous. But you can see here, we did have this 5-minute fair value gap, which we're expecting price to pull back up to. But price basically come up to this low here. I wouldn't have re-entered on this personally. Wouldn't like that. But yeah, that was the idea. I mean, even if I did enter on this sell here, we would have taken a small loss and that's it. We just move on to the next trade. But that was our posture. We didn't like it, and price didn't really respect it. We're now in a premium. We're entering into this fair value gap. I need to make these lines a little bit fainter. Go to oops. What's this called? OT, isn't it? Okay, so we're just about entering into this fair value gap now. The only issue with this fair value gap is that it's so large that price could react to this order block, this order block, this fair value gap. There's many places, right? So when that is the case, the best thing for me, in my opinion, to do is to just draw the closest one and then wait for a reaction. So that would be this area here. So this is a 4 hour fair value gap. Let me see what it's like. Yeah, it's not, it can't be the daily. We type in 4 hour fair value gap. You know the time frame it is. And I actually been liking, not grey, sorry. Been liking orange a lot. Is that grey? So boom, 4 hour fair value gap here. And the main thing you want to, the minimum time frame I would use is actually the 1 hour. So let's actually mark out this area here. And then if price doesn't react to this, we move up to the next one. And we just keep going. So there's one over here. There's one over here, I believe. One over here. There's so many. Even one here. Might not. Yeah, I'm not going to keep that one too thin. These are all the fair value gaps that we've seen. Price can react to any single one of them. because all of these are within the fair value gap. Now, when I'm struggling, this daily fair value gap that's marked up by the maroon lines, you can then draw a optimal trade entry within the fair value gap. And that will basically mean that the area of, we get rid of this overall one here, which we already know we're in a premium. Within this fair value gap, you want to enter fair value gaps or areas within this kind of imbalance or premium within the fair value gap when it's so large, which would be anything above this halfway point here. And that first one, see the best time frame for this. Well, that's actually an entry around about here. Is this 15-minute fair value gap over here, I think. Right, 30-minute. That's looking been filled already. That's all the way up here. But let's see. We've got the idea here. We'll see which one it reacts to, and then we can potentially enter sales. Let me just have a look at GBP, JPY, since we have yen news coming out. So we traded below these sell side liquidities. I was expecting price or the news to push price up to entry, to enter sell. This is also fine. It just means that we also now need we can have a less steep retracement almost. So reanalyzing, we can see that this is probably the best zone right here, because it is in the 79705 level. And then we can just set our stop loss quite tight. And yeah, that will kind of be my posture right here. And sell to equal lows, then she even target further below that. So that's of high interest, keep that high. Euro, we're still expecting that retracement. From midnight open, we've just been moving downwards. And then that continuing the move from basically last week. We suggested, ideally I would like this retracement, although it's already happened, so it's unlikely. I'm expecting price to actually come down, create a lower low, then have a retracement before this. But if it happens like this, then I would be able to get into the trade. Obviously, we've just analyzed this now. GBP AUD. I've been consolidating. I like this displacement. Look at this lower low. I've seen this before. Lower low created, taking out the swing low with displacement. We trace deep, not that deep into it, and then we displace even further down. Another lower low, this swing low right here, taken out, retraced, and then we actually didn't displace that much, but we came to these previous lows. But this is like one of my favorite shapes right here, because this happens over and over again. Because look, extreme high over here, extreme high over here, the lower high, this swing low over here got taken out. We retraced a bit. Before we actually trace a lot and take out the equal highs. You could argue that this is not the cleanest example, but from here to here is definitely clean. So let's see. Lower low, this swing low didn't get taken out until all the way over here. To be fair, that's a bit of a bad example. Because if you look at Euro USD, the daily time frame is this lower low here. This swing low got taken out. We retraced a little bit. First fair value gap, boom, we started to space downwards. That's why we're so bearish on Euro USD. So we're kind of having that on the smaller time frames here. Low, low, swing low, boom, boom, boom. I wouldn't really count that as a low, low. Let me see. I should get rid of the drawers real quick. Okay, we drew this fair value gap. We just fully filled. I'm bearish on it. I'd actually be looking for sales. The event horizon is kind of this 1 hour fair value gap. We zoom in. Try to look for the same move or the small time frame. It's just moving too sideways for my liking. Which is why I'll put in medium interest. But the idea is there. I mean, it's just moving slowly. On the 15-minute time frame, we don't have any displacement on it. So we kind of have to use these smaller time frames. The order block. And 3 minute within this 1 hour fair value gap, we came up to it once, went down to equal those. Oh, we actually came up again. Nice. Maybe GBP, JPY coming up. Nope. I'm bullish on USD. Why are we bullish? Oh, just because we feel this and we have equal highs over here. We kind of feel this bearish fair value gap, so it's not really. You could argue that fair value gap here, and there might be that much left to fill. Potentially argue. Maybe that's what we're going up to, but there is some more up here as well. These lines too. The 4 hour time frame as well. So it probably will fill up these and then come back down to these equal lows eventually. Only problem with that, so like I said, I did expect this to come straight down. We missed the opportunity at 8 o'clock for that entry right there. We just don't want price to fully deliver. So all we're going to be doing now is strictly just waiting for price to pull back up into a optimal trade entry. It should probably displace a little bit further, create a cleaner lower low, maybe up to here, maybe by New York it will have retraced back to that optimal trade entry area. I would like to have entered this, except I'm bullish on USD, so I don't like this. I'm actually going to put this on low interest. I'm fairly bearish on GBP, so that GBP JPY sell off, I really would have liked to see price come up here, which would have been a nice entry. Still can happen, so we're not going to write that off yet. GA is just moving sideways. I'll wait for it to make a kind of decisive move. It could create a lower low, and then from that dealing range, we then use that to create a potential retracement opportunity. It looks like it's potentially occurring now, so we'll just highlight that so we can to flick to it and do season. GBP USD. Now we are bearish on the GBP and we're bullish on dollar, so sales should be good. So let's start with the daily time frame to remind ourselves now. As opposed to Euro USD, we didn't get that lower low over here. We got a high. Excuse me. So we had a divergence here between GU and EU. This swing low got taken out with a displacement, so this market shot to shift is important. We filled this fair value gap in this retracement, and at that point up here, we ended up kind of reversing a little bit from, but not enough because we were still technically bullish. Came up to here again, and then within here we have a smaller time displacement. Came up to that fair value gap, the optimal trading area from this to this. I'll just show you. Like there, got to that 7.9 level, we're starting to retrace, right? So if we take that and we go in a little bit deeper, what do we see? Well, at this 7.5, 7.9 level, you'll see that we actually use this order block right here to shift from. So this is a 2 hour order block, and that is the event horizon or the event opportunity, I like to call it. And I need to get rid of one of the lines. Let's get rid of this overall one. So we will be looking for entries. I actually think it's fine to go up a notch, up one at least. Perfect. So around the 7.9 level, 7970269, I believe it is. 62, sorry. So 62709, and then why is this a woman's hair in my beard? Okay, so within this area, it's a little bit not clean. Like I'm not seeing any displacements within this range. Maybe this one here, but that got filled quite quickly. Check the 2 hour real quick. 30 minutes. We do have. Let's get rid of this. Let's use these smaller legs because price is very volatile. So from this high to this low, we did come up to this order block, to be fair, which happened at when? Well, 8:30. just above the order block, and then distributing to the downside. I mean, is what it is, right? We just missed the opportunity. Wait for it to create a lower low, and then we'll look for that another pullback kind of move. Look at GJ. Doesn't seem. Oh, it's come back up. Nice. So there's potential for entry soon. Okay, now we can move on to some other pairs. We're taking out these equal lows over here. I'm bearish just off of the base of that. So these two equal highs. Make that green. You can see here, there's 2 daily highs, right? It's going to be liquidity above that. Price came above it, created equal highs again. Didn't really take out too much. And then what did price do? Came up, create equal highs, bam, swept it on Tuesday. So yesterday, it swept the highs. And it was a doji. And I'm expecting a formation of that swing high over here, which will mean we're bearish. So I'm bearish on this 100%. We then come here, we see from this 1 hour time frame, after the sweep, we had this displacing, meant taking out some of these smaller term swing lows. And we have this we have some interesting zones within this area. So for example, EuroCAD, we have this fair value gap at that 6.2, on that 7.05 level. We are yet to pull up to it. And I am seeing on the smaller time frame potential swing lows down here being taken out. So we may even get something within this range from this extreme to wherever this low ends up being. And we can maybe get in around here to enter those to the downside. But I would prefer if price was to rally up deeper in to this area here to then go down. Of course, we are quite bearish in the sense that the event horizon that we got on the daily time daily time frame is quite strong. We should expect some strong deliverance because we've taken a lot of orders, so we have the authority to move downward quite quickly. All right, EuroCAD, like I said, I'd rather price come up here, but it's plausible that price just uses this range, and you can see there's some fair value gaps here as well. But the only way I would use this is if we create a lower low first, and I'll use that as a new dealing range. Okay, so that's EuroCAD, low interest. Euro Swiss franc. Oof. Nice liquidity over here. I want a proper sweep. This one instead. I want a better sweep first. So I'm expecting to push higher and then come up. I'll just keep it on the watch list. Euro GBP. There's a lot of sell side liquidity over here. So I think we're bearish. We'll be targeting that liquidity. From midnight open, we rallied up. I'm not actually sure what we took. Let me just mark this out real quick and zoom in. We didn't really take any liquidity. We just rallied. I guess we took this liquidity over here, up some buyers, and then we came back into the range, back into the fair value gap, almost here again, some lows. So we're bearish on this as well. I'd actually say the dealing range is from here to here. So just come here. So because of that, we'll look for areas in here, which this will be low hanging fruit right here. And then we could have a better entry over here. These are two areas of entry. We'll just be waiting for price to push up. Similar to most Euro pairs, we're expecting that to happen. Now, obviously, we are bearish on GBP, so we'd have to be careful here. But that's it's very simple analysis. I'll be so honest, but that's what I'll be looking at. Just quickly scan through the ones we have analyzed. Okay, so Euro USD kind of created equal lows over here. It is looking like it wants to rally up. We'll see. I don't know if I want to use this as the new range. The only way I tend to use these kind of areas as ranges is if I'm very bearish and I think price is volatile. So that's why I say I don't know, because price didn't really take out this low by that much. So I don't know how volatile price is for me to warrant this. Now, the thing is, it does fall into that area of here. So if we delete this, let me just mark this out first, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. If we zoom out first here, then we get rid of the smaller one. It does also line up within the fact that it is within this range, and we can see here that this has basically been filled by that. So there isn't really another opportunity apart from this order block, which we've already used. So this will only be the only opportunity we can actually even use to get in that is valid, because above here, the optimal trade entry, there isn't really a clean imbalance. So there's not really a reason for price to go up there that much. So we could use this here as the entry, and then we set our stop loss wherever it is on the time frame. And then I'm actually gonna mark that out. So I'm gonna use the 5 minute. I like to use the highest time frame imbalance, because that will be the most superior zone. So this is a 5 minute value gap. So I'm gonna mark that out. So when I flick to this, I know, okay, that's the time for me to be on. And I can actually do that for pretty much all of these. We have a 50-minute over here, 30-minute over here. So normally I would use a 30-minute, but you can see here we've already got a touch. If price come back up again, I would expect it to come a little bit deeper, and there is a cleaner zone up here. So I would expect this. It's a little bit riskier. It doesn't mean that you are waiting for a deeper pullback. You may not get it. It may come up to this area here and go down, but it is a more secure trade. So I'm going to take this as the option. So whenever you're using I know I just said now that the larger time frame is a superior area to get your zones from. However, the best thing to do, which is it's equal to that statement I just said, slash almost more superior even to that, is whenever you have multiple fair value gaps, you want to use the upper echelon of it. So for example, there is technically, oh no, I don't know if you can hear that. I don't think you can. Okay, I don't think you can. It's not coming up on my microphone. At least when I'm not talking. Anyway, there's a fair value gap here. So basically, if you're trying to be as, what's the word, as frugal, as safe, as the best risk to reward ratio as possible, you'd use the highest fair value gap, right? So you would always, aim for the highest one you see. Now, what that does mean is that you may not get into as many trades because price can use the one before it and then go down. But when I'm personally entering, I enter with low hanging fruit so I could get into as many trades as possible. And then I would use my stop loss to set above as if I'd entered here, which would be up here. So essentially my stop loss isn't changing. You can see it's a 1 to 3, right? My stop loss isn't changing, but my risk reward is. Now, obviously, it's a 1 to 11. Everybody would rather have this higher risk reward ratio, but the odds of price getting up here is slim. Although this is a fair value gap and it is possible and it's plausible, and it would be almost as if the same trade is taken in terms of direction. Like my strength or my bias of or confidence of price reaching the target hasn't changed from here to here. But the idea of me getting into this, you would have to take 4 of these trades to be as equal to this. I have seen me miss at least 5 of these types of opportunities. So I am accounting for that with this here. And you can always enter again with half the risk as a pyramid again into this trade up here if you wanted that higher risk reward ratio. But because of that risk reward ratio, you could enter on higher lots, risking less percentage, which is possible. But that's not for today topic. But yeah, that will be kind of how you would be. So although the 30-minute does extend all the way down here, roughly, I think, I'm just going to use the 5-minute up here because I like the fact that it's been filled less on this time frame. So I'll be looking for something like this personally, but I will still use that fair value gaps high as my stop loss over here. Again, we're using this as the area we found established. Here we're just looking for some reaction. This will be a medium interest because technically it's not ready yet. So I'm just looking for a reaction. We're just about entering this daily fair value gap here. We have all these different zones that we have as peaked our interest within this bearish fair value gap, and we are just going to see where price reacts to, and we can enter sells potentially targeting short-term lows if we are not confident it's going to continue and deliver all the way down, but that is an option for us. With Euro GBP, hello, why is this not on high interest? So we have this dealing range over here. We've come up to this fair value gap, which is in this kind of premium area here, and hold on. The lows are actually exactly equal, these 3 candles. So with this, I could technically blindly enter. But what event is this? Oh, the 1 hour event has happened already with that wick over here. This is a continuation trade, I believe. So normally when I'm entering something like this, what's the first candlestick? What is this? Might as well just round it to 4 pips. What would our target be? So it's equal those over here. I mean, our general target would be over here. I don't, something's off about this. I really don't like how high this value gap has to be, but it's our rule, so we'd have to put it up here anyway. This is the 1 minute. Even if I use the 1 minute, this is our entry here. Okay, well, we technically have the first entry, even though it's a weird one. How many pips is that? Oh, 5 pips. Too fast, actually moving low key. Okay. On my phone. What was this again? Euro GBP. How much would I put on this? $6,391. Yeah. I mean, off quotes. I guess off quotes mean. Why is there so much dirt on my phone? stupid. Okay. 6391. It's still saying off quotes. How is that? What's this? I can't even get into the trade. My internet's fine. I've tried like a million times. Hold on, let me try this. I meant to trade my demo accounts works. Like what? I just can't enter this. Okay, buddy. Like what is that? How do I fix the error? Let me check if that's a common thing. Let me try EU on the lowest lot size. It's still saying of course. You turn my phone off and on. I mean, technically, if we get in now, we get a better entry, but like, you are missing out. I don't want to miss out on the trade itself. Okay, plug me back in. Could Loki just use this as the loss? I don't know if I'm brave enough for that. That's 2 pips. Spreads. Doesn't make it like 4. Disconnected. We're connected now. We'll just use the same for the issues now that now you want to work. Thanks, man. We were in this. We're just gonna keep it as is. We're not gonna set it above here. No, we can. Because it's what's it called again? Intermediate term high. So first of all, how much spread have we got? Allegedly, we got in here with spreads. Would mean okay, so up to that point, which would mean we have at least 1 pip spread. So if we wanted to sell stop loss here, 0.6 would take us to 373. That's 3 pips. Of 6373. Boom. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna keep my risk very tight on this. It seems weird. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, we're in this trade now. Let me post this in Telegram because I did promise them I'll be showing more of my entries. To show like this because I can't limit, so I don't want them to get confused. I can show. Let's just show the one time frame entry. Okay, so that's that. Okay, here we're coming up closer to our entry target. Euro USD is also pushing up. UPNZ is chilling. EU is chilling. GA is still moving sideways. I was never really interested in this, but we're going to hold on to that to see what happens. Waiting for this event to occur. I have no idea what this is for. I don't know if I'm in a mood to really go through all these pairs. Let me see what's. So USD is going to be important because we're going to have news. Let's look at this. So compulsive fair value gap displays here. In this grammar scheme of things, what I noticed. Choppy, I don't like it. 1.02 is about there. Okay. What else? I think I might just chill. Analyze the pairs. Got one entry, not the best. Well, not the one I was actually even expecting. We potentially have another one. If it comes up here, I will most likely get in. Obviously, it's moving quite strongly, and is it going to be a trade I would manage? I don't like yen as a whole. I know that it can move quite weird, and I'll be honest, I will not be looking at this as a sell, so maybe buys aren't plausible. And yeah, this will be, I think, wait. So this is the first candlestick here. We like 2 pip spread. And we add our own, so let's just say 20 pips. Right here. Something like this. Will be something I'm looking to enter. And the EU, same thing. This one's a little bit closer. So I'll just be watching this. I don't know, I might watch it on stream for a bit because it's close. Euro GBP, we've got in here with spreads. Would be overall aiming down here, but we'll be taking probably most of it off down here, which would be probably a 1-to-1, right? About 1-to-1. So not much, but it secures us. Or we might just, to be fair, I'm not risking that much, so I might just hold. Depends how I feel. I'll just use experience to manage that trade. And then here, I have noticed as well that I've been better off just holding my trades out rather than trying to, micromanage it. It's just been better. I just let it run and then I make a decision after, like medium hanging fruit. I'm still not at the level of ability when I know when it's going to hit this, but like these low hanging fruits have been quite good with. Did I put money in? Yes. Do I regret that? No, because I was uncertain. So you got to manage your emotions here. Obviously, when you see things going your way, you're like, oh, I could have put money. I could have risked more. And especially when I reduced my stop loss, I could have, increased it. But I'm like, no, I'm not that confident with this trade. It's not a pair I've been trading throughout the week. It is also some weird stuff going on with that off quotes business. I'm happy with this, and we just let it go. And we're still gonna make money regardless. So technically, if it hits TP, I'd almost double my account. So still a very good trade despite all those safety nets I put in place. So I'm happy with this trade. GJ is something I'm willing to put more money on because again, low hanging fruit is a good risk ratio, and I've analyzed it quite deeply for a while too. I've been watching it. EU is probably the most confident of them lot I am in. I got most confident I am in of the lot, and we can start actually preparing entry, which would be right above here. I can have like low spreads, make it 6.5. So I'll be looking for something like this. This low hanging fruit is very, very passive. This is the ultimate kind of target. So yeah, we're just gonna set alerts. When you set alerts, I can go off the markets, do my own thing, and then keep my phone and the tab open, and then wait in here to see if there's an opportunity. So yeah, this is a longer session than normal. May even do two live streams because of the fact that there is news. I don't think I'll be live for this one. It might create some opportunities low key though. just set alerts. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna end stream. Thing is, we might as well cut it short. We got one entry. We've got two near entry. We've got the kind of rules set. We've applied spreads and the stop loss rules and targets. Partials at the first low hanging fruit. Then, of course, wait, what? Why is the fib there? Why was the fib there? Hold on, that changes everything. Wait. I think we just need to use this one. This dealing range. Yeah, it's still valid. Okay. So we're going to be targeting this low hanging fruit first, since we are using this dealing range. And then if we want that extension afterwards, well, oh wait, I needed the other way. It actually lines up with the target over here, so we can get that. Hilarious. This is plausible. And then I'm assuming that's going to be probably something similar over here as well. But yeah, I only did it for E. Oh yeah, EJ. Running how? That takes us all the way down here. As though this swing low over here. Interesting. Anyway, that's all for today. It's been with CJ. I'll see you guys either later or tomorrow. And yeah, it's been good, good tradings. See you guys later. Peace.